Right. I think we're live. What's
There
up?
we go. What's up, everyone? It's been a minute for me since I've done a live here.
When was the last time?
Man, trying to remember. It's been months since I've hopped on a live. I've done some Zooms, of course, but in fact, I've spoken. I think I've spoken on stage since I've done a Facebook live. So here with my good friend Ferny
What's up,
Ceballos,
everybody?
gonna have some fun here.
All right, let me see if everything's working.
Okay.
Give me a number one in the chat if you guys can hear us and see us. I can hear us and see us. Just want to make sure you guys can hear us and see us
Oh,
and
you know
everything.
what? I see us on my Facebook page. So
All right.
we're good, man.
Well, don't do anything. Don't mess it up.
We'll do my best. We'll see. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in. I know there's going to be a bunch of people watching the replay on this. Sent out a couple emails letting you guys know we would be on here, and yeah, excited to make some announcements and kind of let you guys know a little bit about what I've been up to and what Ferny and I are up to, and definitely really excited about it. And so I guess we'll kick it off here. And number one, just let you know, hey, why are we doing this? And to let you know why we're doing this before we get into any details, I just want to give you a little bit of a backstory. As most of you know, have invested 29 years of my career in the network marketing profession. Has been such an incredible adventure. And as you start building things, you start investing your money. And so I started getting pretty focused in the financial markets, hired a mentor in the financial industry, and started learning to trade. I quickly learned that, it made more sense for me to find other people who are great traders than me trading myself. But my mentor, really got to know him, great guy. And long story short, he ended up making me, you could call it an offer that I couldn't refuse, essentially. And this is about 9 months ago. He said, I want to give you half of my company. I'm going to give you 50% of my company if you'll take on the CEO role and help me scale our company. Now, this is nothing to do with network marketing, totally outside. There's no compensation plan. There's no opportunity. There's, nothing like that. So,
I don't know. You never know. You never know.
right. So, bottom line is I said yes, and not exactly under a new industry for me. Management is management, leadership is leadership. So I was able to carry over a lot of my, systems and management. I've owned, a network marketing company. I've owned a lot of different marketing companies over the years. And, the company's just grown like crazy. And, after about 6 months in business, multiple millions of dollars, we have about 18 employees on staff now. Hiring new people every month, creating systems and infrastructure and all this kind of stuff. And it's been amazing, but it's really distracted me from doing what I love in network marketing. It's a lot to manage. So I've essentially been retired from network marketing over the last, 9 months or so. And, what's cool is I still have an organization with in our profession, and still pays me multiple six figures per year, which is an amazing testament to the power of network marketing, being able to be semi-retired and still have, multiple six figures a year come in. And, it's network marketing is one of those things where some of you really know this, some of you may be new and you don't quite have it yet, but once network marketing is in your blood, it doesn't leave, and it's still very much in my blood, right? And so I don't want to ever get out of network marketing. I don't think I'll ever be out of network marketing. I'm just a bit distracted right now. And so, building a company in the financial space, it's majorly rewarding financially. It just really is an opportunity to build $100 million a year company and all that is awesome. And but it doesn't really compare to, it's a different reward. In network marketing is being able to coach and train and mentor. That is an emotional reward. It's a soul reward. It's a heart reward. And that's something I'm not willing to give up, right? And so as I'm thinking, I've got this dilemma. It's like I've got this opportunity to go build something in the financial space that's really big, and create an additional layer of wealth for my family. But how do I still, take part and do things that I'm really passionate about here with network marketing? And so it's like, who do I partner with? Like, who is someone that I could go to that, really knows it? Who's someone that I could trust to work with? And how do I keep my heart involved? How do I keep adding value? And obviously, I can't do it alone. I don't really have the time to create new courses and all that. Like I was, thankfully and blessed to be pretty prolific in creating a bunch of different courses and mentorships and coaching programs, and just such a cool experience helping so many leaders across our profession. And as I'm going through this, it reminded me of an amazing book. If you guys haven't read a book, it's called Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. Fernie, you might have read that. It
Mhm.
is Dan Sullivan, just an amazing coach in the
Le
business world.
Leverage
And
for people.
yeah, and so the whole premise of the book of Who Not How is, you don't really need to figure out the how if you find the who. And for
Mm.
me, the who was my friend Fernie here. And, Fernie and I was trying to think of how long we've known each other. I mean, I know it's been well over 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how long have you known Tim, my partner, CEO, and
I think
my
I,
mentor?
man, I can't remember. I don't know. It's like I've been in MLM for 29 years. So it's tough to remember, but it's been 10, maybe 15 years that we've known each other, maybe longer. Um,
Yeah, I think maybe I ran into you at, one of the generic events many years ago, and
yeah.
saw you were taller than me. I was like, "I don't like to be around this guy. He's taller than me."
Uh, yeah, but I remember we had lunch and
Yeah, no,
or
yeah, we
dinner
had
and
a late dinner in
hung
Vegas
out.
at a
Yeah.
GoPro event.
Mhm. So anyway, it's like what's important for me always in like figuring out who you want to work with is someone who's number one, they just have to be confident. Like we always like to say, oh, they're great, they're a great person, and that's true. They need to be, caring, they need to be trustworthy. But they also need to be really competent. And one thing about Fernie and his reputation, he is incredibly competent, really, really talented at not only building network marketing organizations in the past, but then transitioning into coaching leaders to build massive organizations. And Fernie, I would love for you to share your story here in a little bit. But the other
Yeah.
thing that's just very true about Fernie is trust. And there are in any business, there's going to be people who do well, but they're not really trusted. It's like, yeah, they've made a lot of money, but you kind of like, you have this hesitancy. And with Fernie, it doesn't matter like who the leader is, like anyone who knows him. Fernie and I have spent a lot of time, like we have a mutual friend, Rob Sperry, like amazingly trusted guy. And, the thing is like everyone, people like Rob, they say great things about Fernie because he's just someone you can trust. And I've worked with him in the past. And it's like total trust. And so that's super important for me. And so we've essentially decided to come together and partner. And, Fernie, for those of you who, I know we're doing this on both of our
Mhm.
pages. Those of you who are on Fernie's page, you already know him. If you're on my page and you don't know Fernie, I'm going to have him tell his story. But I just want to say, I want to say this though. Fernie is a graduate of MIT. Right. And so it's like almost intimidating when you first meet someone who's like graduated from MIT, got a grad school degree from USC in electrical engineering and computer science. And I mean, I have met tens of thousands of people in network marketing. Fernie may have the highest IQ of anyone in network marketing that I've met anyway. And I've
Yeah.
met a lot of really smart people. And, it's not the degree that and where he went to school that makes him so smart. It's the fact that, like, number one, you have to be super brilliant to get into those schools. But he's really taken this, like, really analytical approach to network marketing and creating systems that really work. They work for him. Systems that not only work for him, that actually duplicate. And that's one of the things that he's been super effective in is helping leaders duplicate their organization. And so, Fernie, I'd love for you, just for my page
Yeah.
anyway, if you don't mind telling your story of kind of like how you got into network marketing, how attraction marketing, how you started working with attraction marketing, maybe some of the results of some of your
Yeah,
students and some of
absolutely.
the leaders that you mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I got into network marketing much like most people get into network marketing. I was conned into a meeting. I
Me too.
didn't gone into a meeting not knowing what you're getting into. At the time I was working as an aerospace engineer. I after MIT, I left MIT and graduated, and then went to work in the real world, and I realized the real world kind of sucks. It's not the I mean, talk about selling the dream. MLMers get accused of selling the dream, and MIT sells the dream better than anybody I've ever seen. Once you walk into those doors, you're brainwashed to believe, and you buy into it that you're the best in the world. You can do anything. And here's the thing: MIT teaches the same calculus and physics that every other school teaches, but it's how they brainwash you, how they basically develop you and grill you, where you come out expecting to conquer the world. And I come from humble beginnings, immigrant parents, grew up poor, but I just did really well in school. And when I went to MIT, it was just massively different environment from the poor area I grew up in. Like it's kind of like when the area I grew up in, it's kind of like the crabs in a bucket type of thing. Everyone's trying to like chop each other down. MIT, everyone's trying to build you up. And so you come out of there with a big vision for what you can accomplish in your life. But then I went to the corporate world, and it was a letdown. And I look down the hall and see a balding fat guy that's supposed to be the big shot, and he isn't in a corner office with no windows. And I'm like, I don't want that. That's like 40 years down the line. That's not inspiring. And so I went back to grad school thinking that was going to kind of get me out of my situation, but that's just going to entrench me further in that. But I didn't know what else to do. And then a friend from where I went to grad school at USC invites me to a meeting. It's all engineers. And so I'm thinking we're going to, ideate a potential startup idea, and we're going to like get rich in Silicon Valley or something like that. But it turns out to be a meeting for network marketing. I hated everything about what I heard that evening. I ghosted my potential sponsor for 2 weeks. But something kept gnawing at me because I had no other way out of my situation. Like, like what else am I going to do? In terms of my job, it's just a dead end for me personally. It's a great job, nothing wrong with the job I had. It was very cushy. It's not like I'm working construction, backbreaking labor, or anything like that. It's just it wasn't fulfilling. And the idea of doing something for 8 hours a day, which is basically half the time I'm awake, and then on top of that, being in traffic for 2 to 3 hours a day, spending that much of my life doing something I did not enjoy doing, or was fulfilling, was just the definition of hell for me. And so I ended up calling my sponsor back, even though I hated everything I heard that night. I hated how they got me in, how they tried to get me in, the deceptive nature of it. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And I hit the ground running. I grew pretty fast doing the traditional way. This was back in 2005. Home parties, home meetings, one-on-ones, meet people at coffee shops, prospect whoever you run into or you pretend to run into. Just
Anyone
give me
who
some,
can fog a mirror.
yeah, anyone can fog a mirror. And so, calling people up that you haven't talked to in years and pretending you care about how they're doing before it's just
And, oh,
all,
by the way, I have this, yeah,
you have what?
this opportunity.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot, and so anyway, I did all that. And it was actually I was pretty good at it. I did some recruiting in my fraternity at MIT, and it turned out those recruiting skill sets turned out to come in handy in somewhat with network marketing, but I didn't know how to teach it. I didn't know how to duplicate it. I was highly motivated, and I recruited a lot of people, but none of my team wanted to do what I was willing to do. And it was a clue that I didn't really enjoy doing the things I was being asked to do to build my network marketing business, but I was doing it because it was a means to an end. They just like, I don't want to do this. I don't like doing this. I guess their motivation wasn't there, and so they weren't willing to compromise their integrity like I was. Uh, so,
Funny way to put it.
so I mean, that's a clue later. If your people are not enjoying the process of building your business, then it's going
Yeah.
to be really hard to duplicate unless you're like some sort of magical or magical salesperson that can get people to do things they really don't want to do. I wasn't one of those people, so the team disappeared. But fortunately, I went online and found a website called Magnetic Sponsoring, and it was founded by Mike Dillard, and Mike,
Yeah,
and
sure.
Mike Dillard was the first person he wasn't he didn't invent traction marketing or digital strategies for network marketers, but he was the most influential person in popularizing these techniques and strategies. He's like he's Saint Paul to Jesus, you know, like without Paul, there'd be no Christianity. You know, Paul was like propagator of that. And so I think Mike was the biggest propagator of building online. And it just exploded, and I fell in love with what he was teaching. It was process oriented. There was like metrics. He was teaching systems. Most importantly, he said two things to me that really had made an impact, especially given my background. One is, if you want a professional income, if you want a 6 or 7 figure income, then you need a professional skill set. Like, it was the first time someone in network marketing had told me you need to become a professional at what you
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
And two, I was being spoken to like an adult. I was like, these are the skills you got to learn. You got to work your butt off to learn these skills. And when you use these skills in this combination, then that's when you are going to get the results you're looking for. And this is how you can evaluate these skills through this data, these metrics, these numbers. And that spoke to me as an engineer. It spoke to me like what profession in the world can help you build a 6 figure, 7 figure income and not actually help you develop skills and also have a major transformation within yourself. And I think
Mhm.
network marketing is often pitched as like, oh, you don't have to do anything different. You don't have to be anyone special. You could just, you could just, all you got to do is bring more people to meetings. You're making it too complicated. And that I felt like people told me that were dumbing it down to the point
Mhm.
where I couldn't grow and develop because it's like they weren't telling me what skills to actually work on and develop. And these skills were different. These were marketing skills, whereas what I was actually begging for before was to develop my sales skills as a network marketer and that for my team. And so 2 years later, I built a 6 figure team, or 6 figure income in network marketing, and then I was able to quit my job. A couple years later, had one of the largest residual income checks in my company, and it was all through attraction. I never literally as soon as I found attraction marketing, the word prospecting just stopped being something I did. It was about attracting it. I was using marketing, content generation, eventually advertising, eventually automation to attract people to me. It got to the point where if I wanted to mentor some people and recruit some people frontline to me, I literally just sent an email, and then they went through a process where they saw a presentation, and then they would submit an application. And they literally, at that, I don't recommend this now, but at that time, they they paid me $50 to apply to join my team before they even got accepted, and so it was just, the posture was just, off the hook. And it was just, I just sit back and say, hey, what's up, and answer their questions. And after answer their questions, get them enrolled. And it was like the easiest recruiting in the world. And so that's like was a huge breakthrough. And then I became very passionate about sharing what I was learning with other people. I launched a company, an event training company. So, because there weren't a lot of generic events for network marketers, and definitely nothing for people building online. And in 2010, I launched the No Excuses Summit with a partner, and we had, in 2 months of promotion, we sold 1,000 tickets, and the biggest influencers at the time in network marketing who were building online in some way, shape, or form, spoke there, and you could tell people were hungry for this information, and that company continued to grow. And in 2014, before that, Mike Dillard had partnered with his mentor, Tim Irway, in the magnetic sponsoring company. So I was still plugged into them. I was still working with them. We had collaborated on a lot of projects. Um, but then in 2014, Mike actually was going to retire from network marketing, and Tim needed somebody to fill his shoes, somebody to partner with. And he, after working on so many projects together and us working really well together, he invited me to merge my business with the magnetic sponsoring company, and that company became rebranded as what we now know as attractionmarketing.com. And so I'm an owner of the exact same system and company that helped me succeed in this space and helped me develop these skill sets. And yeah, since 2014, 2015, uh, we one of the things that Tim and I committed ourselves to doing is creating the environment that network marketers need in order to succeed. There's two things that made the biggest difference in the two career choices I made. First career choice is obviously MIT. How does MIT develop the best in the world, Nobel laureates, company founders, and all these incredibly brilliant people? It's because they teach the same stuff other schools do. It's the environment, the support
Mhm.
systems, the layers of support and accountability. Like MIT is really hard, but they also have a 97% graduation rate. So they do not want you to like drop out, and they will not let you. You have to run away.
Mhm.
And so that's like, okay, that makes sense. It's like they brainwash you that you're the best. They beat the crap out of you in terms of your education. They don't like they don't go easy on you, but then they don't give up on you. And then the second time that I had my breakthrough, my six-figure and multiple six-figure breakthrough, was with a mentorship program, a structured mentorship program where I was accountable to a mentor, regular check-ins, being able to meet with them in person and work through my business. And 9 months into that mentorship program, which cost me $60,000,
Mhm.
by the way, I made $700,000 in a single month, as a
Wow.
direct result of that mentorship program and things I learned before. And so I was like, all right, well, it seems like mentorship and a structured environment and a curriculum and accountability and coaching, that's essential. That was essential for my journey. And it seems like that's essential for a lot of people. Like they could always point to a mentor that supported them. So that's what we decided to create. We were the first coaching program of its kind in the network marketing space. And that's what we've been doing ever since. And the other thing we've committed to, in addition to showing people how to build online, is to stay on the cutting edge of what's working, not censor what we teach and do. Our definition of what's duplicatable is so different from what the rest of the space kind of teaches. Um, because I've seen some very difficult things duplicate really well. My friend Tim Sales, he built a seven-figure organization teaching his team to cold call. I mean, what more difficult
For
strategy can you
sure.
teach your team? But you can do it if you got the systems, if you're an effective trainer. And so that gives me an idea. It's like, well, there's nothing that we can't teach to our students as long as they have the motivation and see the
Mhm.
vision for what's possible for themselves. And so we commit to staying on the cutting edge. And I love automation, and we work our students up to the point where they can automate as much of their business as possible while still maintaining the people part of network marketing.
Yeah, I love that, man. You gave me at one point, you gave me goosebumps. I was gonna interrupt you and tell you, but I didn't wanna stop your
Mhm.
flow. It's like specifically when you're talking about, having a mentor guide you through and then the accountability and all that is super important. And it's interesting with my career in network marketing. I got started and it was all, very belly to belly,
Mhm.
home meetings, hotel meetings, all of that. And I always just was thinking, gosh, there has to be a better way. And, I ventured into, building online and through social media. And it was fascinating because, I learned how to sponsor people at will through social media, teaching, a lot of the concepts that you guys teach. And, it was interesting because was part of a company in the past where, I had recruited hundreds of personals on social media, and the company would never let me train on it on stage
Right.
because the other leaders were very much like, "Oh, it's not duplicatable. It's not, it's like we want to only teach, get in, make a list, set your goals, call the people you know, and then when you run out of those people, go meet people on the
So
streets."
you
And
were you were censored before it became a thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it really was. It was just fascinating because I was in a couple different companies as the
Yeah.
number, not like number 2, 3, 4, not a top earner, the number 1 income earner. And it was still like I was censored, like, "Don't teach the social media stuff that you do." And it was always just fascinating. So I was like, "All right, well, I'll just teach my personals and my team, and then we'll
Yeah.
we'll just
Well,
go dominate."
Well, that also, like, lends to, like, a suspicion that network marketers have. I know I had it, and it's always been the case. Network marketers are always going, I wonder what the leaders are doing they're not teaching me. Like, there's always
Yeah,
suspicion there's
yeah.
something that they're not showing. So
Mhm.
I guess in that case it was true.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's why I love what you do, and there's a lot of people in the network marketing profession, there's a lot of people who do it. There's not a lot that are amazing at teaching it.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm really honest about me, I'm really good about teaching the sales skills because I had to learn the sales skills, how to, recruit and close sales and present. I'm really good at the leadership side. I'm really good at doing all of the attraction marketing side. I'm okay at teaching it. I taught it to my team. I taught it to my coaching clients in the past, but I would say I'm not masterful at teaching the attraction marketing stuff. Ferny and Tim, you guys are masterful at teaching that piece more than anyone I've seen in our profession. I don't know anyone else who teaches that piece, the attraction marketing piece. You guys are the most masterful at teaching that. And I think with what's happened in the network marketing profession now, like especially since COVID,
Mhm.
everyone was focused to shift. Like, I can't just call my friends and family. I can't go out and meet anyone. So I need to go get on social media and learn how to attract. And I know that just blew up your company
Mhm.
for sure, because it's what everyone, kind of went to. And so I guess that kind of leads me to like why we're here. Why we're here is I wanted to be able to partner up with someone. We've got a big, database of network marketers, and, I can continue to email here and there and give some of my tips. But if I really want to add value, doing that with Ferny just makes a lot of sense. So we've essentially, my company, Network Marketer, we've essentially partnered. And so you're going to be continue hearing from me, not very often, but you'll start to get emails from Ferny, right? And so we're just kind of partnering up, and you'll hear from Ferny and he'll be giving value. We'll do probably another one of these,
Yeah.
doing coaching. Ferny does he does live events, virtual events, and just has a lot of resources. Many are free, and many, for those, some of you are kind of like Ferny and I, where you're like, I really want to be a pro in this, and I
Mhm.
want a higher level of mentorship. And so for some of you, you may choose to reach out to Ferny and say, hey, help me, because he's really good at that. And so that's why we wanted to do this. I wanted, one, to make sure my audience knows you. We'll send out the replay to my database, and then also, I'd love to be, I want to be able to take part in some of this. So some
Yeah.
of what Ferny does with his events and so forth. In fact, he invited me to come speak at his event. You've got an event coming up in July,
Yeah.
and I had to decline because I'm getting married. So as
I
much
was
as I
like,
love you, Ferny, I love Devon more.
it's the one excuse that I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I guess I can't compete with that.
Yeah, there we go. So anyway, yeah, so I've agreed to, help out with some training and coaching, and Ferny's agreed to help some of, my audience. And I think we'll be able to make a pretty cool impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited, man. One, I'm honored that we started partnering on some things about a year ago, and I was
Mhm.
just honored that you thought of it. It was like out of the blue. And it was just like, wow, it's like it you don't realize how highly somebody thinks of you until they like, hey, you want to partner? Like, I trust you enough to partner. I trust you enough to send people to you to, and then now you're trusting me with nurturing and educating and taking care of your community and supporting you in that. And I'm excited for that. I'm honored. You're such. I believe you're, if not the most respected networker in this space, absolutely one of the top 5 most respected and most successful network marketers in this space. I mean, just if I look at your track record and compare it to even most trainers that are out there, it's like there's no comparison. And so when you said you wanted to work together and now, like, partner in this way, I'm just like, wow, like, okay, we're really doing something right if Matt is wanting to do this. And I'm just excited to share what I know, like, and be able to really take your community, your audience into the future. Network marketing is one of those it's a weird industry because it's not weird for the obvious reasons. It's weird because it's the only business environment I've ever been in and associated with that resists innovation and change.
Mhm.
It's like it's slow to innovate, it's slow to change. And if you're a company CEO of any other business, and if you like don't want to innovate and don't want to change, you go out of business. Like your competitors will crush you. Um, I worked for a short period of time as an intern at Xerox in 1999. And Xerox, if you guys don't know, invented the personal computer. They invented the mouse, in their laboratory, in their research center called Xerox Park. And they invent the personal computer, and they had Ethernet, they had email, they had personal computers for all their employees in the 70s. But they didn't share it, they didn't sell it, they had no plans to sell it. It was just something they worked on and geeked out on in the company. And two gentlemen by the name of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates came to visit Xerox Park, and they're like, whoa, like this is the future. And then they basically went off and basically completely ripped off what Xerox had and started Microsoft and Apple. And Xerox didn't care because they had no intention of turning this technology into their next business. Their executives are very much focused on, no, paper is what we do. Paper and copiers is what we do. They make more money on paper than anything else that they have. It's like that's our bread and butter. Let these engineers play, tinker with their stuff, but we're making so much money that we could just throw money at them to keep them happy. What ended up happening is 10 years later, Xerox went bankrupt,
Mhm.
and those engineers that worked at Xerox Park went to go work at Microsoft and Apple and became millionaires, gazillionaires, because they wanted to be a part of a company that was innovative, not just on product, but in all aspects. And so, for me, I'm so passionate about innovation, and I just see so many companies and so many teams not wanting to innovate. But we're an environment that it goes in the opposite direction. It's like if it's working for somebody, one of our students, like we've had thousands of students that have built 6 7 figure organizations, and I get to look at what they've created based on the principles they learned from us, and I get that feedback, and it's like, oh, it's interesting how they did that with that particular system. And now I'm seeing how our students are incorporating AI and automation in ways that I never thought possible, in ways of automating, certain aspects of social media. Imagine being able to automate a conversation through Messenger. Normally you have to
Mhm.
have a conversation through Messenger with a prospect, but what if I told you there was a tool out there, an AI tool that can have that conversation better than you can? And I was like, and so like we're tinkering with that right now, and it's like really working. And we're rolling it out to some of our, small group of students that we work very closely with. And it's just really exciting to see how these systems can make an impact. And right now there's a huge opportunity. Like it's never been easier to use the systems that digital marketers use. When I got started, I used to have to code the systems. Those same systems now are so easy for the average person to take on and roll out, and it's a huge opportunity. So I think there's going to be a huge shift in network marketing where what was no longer duplicatable, uh well, you won't be able to argue that it's not duplicatable because it's becoming more and more accessible. And so, Matt, I have a question for you. If you're down, I'd love in a week or two to do another live with your audience and our audience to like do a deep dive on some of that stuff, because I think we've teased it, but
Mhm.
and I think that having an introduction is cool. But I'd really love to get down to some brass tacks and actually
Yeah,
show people what the future of network marketing is. And I'm not speaking about it hyperbolically. I mean, like the future is here.
yeah.
People are using the systems, and I want to actually share what that looks like. And if you're down to have that conversation
Man,
with your people and our people, let's
yeah.
do it.
I would love to see it myself, right? So, yeah, no, I'd be excited to. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that, and it's Being in network marketing almost 30 years, I've seen so many shifts from, almost 30 years ago, there was a certain culture in network marketing. And, just it's like every handful of years, things shift a bit, right? And I've been kind of like you, I've always wanted to, um, know what's new, what is the new innovation coming, like how do I need to adapt? Not that I need to do away with the old stuff, because a lot of the old, like
Mhm.
relationship building, I don't think will ever go away.
Right.
Leadership, I don't think is ever going to go away. You're always going to need those skills, but there's more that you can add to yourself. And if we keep ourselves in this box thinking that we can just keep doing what we've always done and we'll get the same results, it's just not true, because it's the old saying, the only thing constant is change. And the the amount of change that happens in this day and age, the change is faster and faster, right? If you look at the growth rate of technology, it's increasing at
Mhm.
a faster rate than it ever has, and every
Right.
year it continues to grow at a faster rate. And I think we are just out of touch if we think network marketing is any different.
Right.
So
It's not the exception to the rules of business or the laws of business.
that's right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. And we've seen the results of it. There's been, since COVID, a lot of companies have done amazingly well, but there's also a lot of companies that have
They
done not even here anymore, and some that have really, really struggled. So yeah, I think it's absolutely imperative, and I would love to, jump on, and
Yep.
I want to hear what you're tinkering with.
Yeah, yeah. You could, we've talked about like we're like the skunk works of network marketing, or we're like the Xerox Park of network marketing. Like that's really we're testing stuff, we're
Mhm,
innovating, but we're also learning from the field. Like
mhm,
we have students with massive teams in network marketing that started from scratch with us, and they've built systems to support those teams. And um, many leaders think they have great systems, or they confuse a process for a system.
mhm,
But I mean, our students are on the bleeding edge of what creates the most leverage in network marketing. And we just want to share it. We just want to like we're not the types to want to keep it a secret, but
mhm.
obviously it requires mentorship and coaching, and I'd love to talk about what that looks like on our next live. That's essentially what we're inviting everybody here to be participate. So if you guys would love Matt and I to do another Facebook live within the next couple weeks, where we actually do a deep dive and you guys can learn something about what might be possible for your business and how you might integrate that and what opportunities exist, type the word opportunity in the chat. Let me know you guys are engaged and excited about us doing that together. Because I love talking about this stuff. So I'm down, and it seems like Matt's down too.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Uh,
Well, cool. Well, brother, I appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping on.
yeah, yeah. You guys thought this was going to lead some sort of pitch or something. No, we're just no. This is just about an introduction, and I want to give as much value to you guys. We'll get the replay out to this for those that couldn't attend, but we're gonna do another. This will be like a series of 2 or 3 lives, depending on how much we get done on the next one, to really go deep on how differently we and our leaders do network marketing, and then also just what opportunities exist in the future. We got some events coming up that you guys can participate in. If the demand is there, we might even do a custom event just for Matt's audience. And so we just want to know that you guys are engaged and excited about learning something different. And one thing I want to address with any leader that's watching right now, that's like maybe feels a bit nervous about, well, what are these guys going to teach that's like gonna contradict. I mean, ultimately, what we teach and what Matt's done in his career is about connecting with more people. And network marketing fundamentally is about connecting with more people and finding any way possible to connect with more people. More importantly, be able to connect with them in an authentic way. Even though, being conned into a meeting was how I got started in network marketing, I don't want anybody to be conned into a meeting. I want them to be to have transparency and know that the person that is inviting them to take a look at a product or opportunity is being authentic in how they do that. And I think traction marketing, digital marketing is the solution to making sure that we're operating from a place of authenticity. And so that's really a big mission for me is to reverse the reputation of network marketing. Maybe that won't happen in my lifetime, but at least we can make some dents in that.
Love that. Love that. And, for me, I look at it, and this is the way I've looked at it for years, is a lot of companies will have their existing system, right? And they teach a system and they have an event system and events culture and all this. And, my philosophy is like, I just want to be the one who puts more people into that system and into that,
Exactly.
training system and culture than anyone else. And
Mhm.
it's kind of been my secret over the years is like I don't have to be the best trainer, speaker, I just get a lot of people into whatever that system is. And that's what you guys have done so well with, your students.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah.
Thanks, man. Well, I look forward to sharing more stories about our students and what they've done, and also the diversity of what they've done. There is no one way. And we're gonna start sharing some of that stuff on our next live. Well, just so stay engaged to Matt's list, to our list. Make sure it's whitelisted. Make sure it's like one of your most important contacts in your Gmail or whatever email program you use, because we're going to send an announcement for the next training that we're going to do. And I want you guys all to be a part of it and invite others, tag people that need to hear this message in this video so that they can stay plugged in, so that they get the notification for the next training we do. So if there's a call to action, that's my call to action right there. Tag more people in this video.
Love it. Awesome, brother. Well, appreciate you so much. Excited about what we're going to be able to do together.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.